Hello boys and girls, this is XF here, and I just wanted to do yet another CityVille video, and this time it's going to be an educational one, or at least so I hope. As you can see, my town is spreading quite nicely, and I did get the penthouse tower. Oh yeah, this was quite a surprise, as this is just my second week playing, and yeah, it was a nice thing for them to do, to give that to me. Oh, I need to unload these before the and also check out the sound, as the sound is really annoying in this game and you cannot. Okay, let's just leave that behind. The purpose of today is the fact that I have made a Microsoft Excel data sheet regarding the houses from CityVille. As you can see, we've got the name, the population, revenue, time factor, price, and then it gets a bit complicated for each house. Also the tiles needed, which I've just added, and they are not complete for all of them because I do not have all of them, but these are also important, but I guess they would be more important in the exactly in the beginning of the game, if you're planning to fold them, fold the map, or however you say it, load the map full of houses, or at the end game where the whole map is controlled by you and you don't have as much space as you would like to. So basically these are all the houses right here, in the same order as you would find them in the build menu in the game. And let's get to the more complicated stuff. Daily income energy requirements. EN stands for energy. Okay, daily energy requirements. That means that this is the idle mode, in which you actually log in and collect the rent exactly when the timer stops. So that means that, for example, for a cozy cottage, which has a time factor of 60 minutes. These are minutes, by the way, and here is the time conversion so that you can understand better which is which. So for example, if one cozy cottage has a time factor of 60, that means in a full day you would have you would need 24 energy points. But let us not forget the fact that sometimes an energy or 2 point just busts out of that the rent that you just collected. So basically, based on these calculations, you can find for every house type its daily energy requirements. Okay, next we have the daily revenue. So revenue is what you get for one rent in a day. That means because of the time factor 60 and the fact that you can collect from a cozy cottage 24 times a day, every hour once, you collect 50 revenue. So you multiply 50 revenue with 24 times a day, and you get to 1,200 coins each day from just one cozy cottage. Then we have the revenue per population, which is not so important and what we will be discussing today, but I'll still make some points about it. This is actually more important in the late game, when you actually have industries and commerce, and you need to pay attention that your overall population is happy, that it stays in the green, and also that you have some houses which are making money. So obviously keeping a balance between these two things is quite hard, making money but also keeping the citizens happy. It's not that easy to do. Also, what I've calculated is the buyback time for those of you who are interested. Yeah, so basically the house costs 200 coins and it makes 50 revenue each time you collect the rent, which means you would have to you would have to collect the rent 4 times exactly, and 4 multiplied by 60 minutes, because one time is 60 minutes, 1 hour, you would get to 240 minutes right here, which actually mean 4 hours. So if you build a cozy cottage and if you have the energy and time to actually collect the rent every hour, within the first 4 hours it would have already paid for itself, without taking into consideration the 10 population, which normally uses the commerce and also brings you income through that method as well. Now the tiles needed, as I've mentioned, these will not be discussed today, but they are also here for you to see and just take a glance at the game structure, for example. Okay, so let's just go back. Did this? No, transport failure. We'll just leave it there to load once more. So I've did some color coding on the spreadsheet because it's a bit hard for everybody to follow, just a bunch of numbers, and basically I have labeled with dark green as the time periods smaller than 2 hours or 120 minutes, with orange the time periods between 2 and 20 and 18 hours, and whatever is above 24 hours, or actually, yeah, and whatever is above 24 hours is actually labeled with red. So we can see over here the time factor for various buildings. For example, the loft apartments, they have you can collect from them once every 2.1 days. That means 3024 minutes, and basically that's a long time for you to wait, and that is why I have done some color coding. And whenever you guys want to look into detail and find some details that you are interested in for a certain type of house, you can just pause the video and just go there. I'll just, yeah, these are all of the possible housings, except for the thing. No, I don't want to send now. Jesus, this guy asks me like 5 times a day. I've already sent to everybody. Yeah, I just need to see those loft apartments, or the one that I got. That is not in the spreadsheet right here. Let me see if I can. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this looks to be 3x3. I'm guessing it's 3 by. Oh, let me just move it. Yes, it's actually 3x3, and this is the first day that I had it. So I know that you can collect once every 24 hours. But I do not know how much you can collect once every 24 hours. I do know that it gives you 200 population. So for sure, this penthouse tower gives you 200 population. It's a 3x3 building, which is awesome, obviously, and you can collect once every 24 hours. Okay, so let's just go back to what we have and what we can buy. Obviously, I needed to do some color coding for the daily energy requirements. And as you can see here, the energy requirements low are labeled as this teal color, then the light blue color is medium, and the purple one is high. So basically, if you have over 20, I guess over 20, I actually forgot, but I guess it's over 20. So I've labeled with high as a daily income, daily energy requirement, those that have more than 20, that need more than 20 energy per day for you to actually collect the rent at an optimum rate. As you can see, the champion overall is the country home, from which you can collect once every 5 minutes. So basically, and also the best revenue you could get also from this house right here. The buyback time is also only 300 minutes, so that's like 5 hours, which is also not bad. And I think this is the second best in my tables right here. Actually, this is just my thought about the game. Also, what I have labeled with colors is the revenue per population, which is, as I've mentioned, not as important right now, but will be taken into consideration later on when hopefully I'll make another video about the commerce. And this is because you actually need a good ratio between what a house gives you both in revenue and population, and having a very small revenue per population ratio, a low one, like these houses over here have, means that these give you for almost the same amount of revenue as the other houses, a much bigger population, which is actually needed if you have a big city with a lot of community buildings and a lot of commerce buildings and a lot of goods coming in and getting served to the population and made into coins, of course. So what you would actually need in the ending, or in a high level city, is actually low revenue per population housing, because these actually guarantee the fact that you also get a lot of coins from the commerce. All right. So also what I have color coded is the daily revenue. Now the daily revenue is also quite important. Now, and I have also colored as light gray those that are until 200 and 200 included. So the loft apartments and the modern chateau, they give you a low daily revenue. As you can see, 104.7 or 200, or the stylish contemporary gives you 77.4 per day coins, which is actually quite, not that big. And if you look at the time needed, at the buyback time needed in minutes, you can actually see that in order for you to buy back, to recover your investment from a stylish contemporary, you would need 65,100 minutes, which actually is somewhere between, I don't know, it's actually like 40 days. So after 40 days of continuously optimally getting the population out of there, you actually get your money back from the house alone. We're not talking commerce and anything else. Alright, so the highest ones are actually the ones that have an income, a daily revenue, daily income that is above 1,000, which is the cozy cottage, the country home, if you have the energy and time to actually get all of that, the lake house, which is the one that you buy with 10 CityVille cash, and is the top housing in my regards right here. And the up corner, I don't know the name of it, but it's in the list right there. So only 4 of these that actually have a very high daily revenue. Now, what I've put together here is depending on the time that you're playing daily, because if you play less than 2 hours, then you're obviously just going into your city, you're collecting everything that you had, you're putting new plants in, you're shifting, you're sending your boats out. And speaking about boats, I really need to unload these before they go still. Okay, let me just turn that off. Bye bye sound. Obviously that's quite annoying, and they need to take a look at that, because the volume is much too big, too high. Alright, so let me just continue with this. So obviously if you're a casual player that only plays less than 2 hours a day, then you should really avoid getting high energy requirement houses such as the cozy cottage or the country homes, because you won't have enough energy to actually spend them, because you won't go to your neighbors, you will not do any other sorts of missions, so your energy income will be the same, which is 12 energy per hour, because it's 1 energy point every 5 minutes. Alright, also you should not build houses that have a low and medium revenue per population. So you could go for houses that do have high revenue per population, because in that case you would just need not need a lot of time to manage them. And also what you should avoid, and this might sound stupid, but you really should avoid these, because they generally cost a lot, and you should avoid high daily revenue houses. But considering the fact that the first 2, which with high revenue houses, should already be avoided because of the high energy requirements, the third one you need to buy it with real money or cash if you can spend cash, and the fourth one is really quite expensive and everything. So okay. Now, if you play a little bit more, 2 to 4 hours, which means also going to neighbors, doing some missions, you could also, do the following. And of course, for the hardcore players, if they are playing more than 4 hours a day, then they should definitely stay away from the low energy requirement houses, because these don't make such a big daily revenue. you should stay away from the high revenue per population houses, which are the first four, except for the country house, the country home. And you should only also stay away from the low daily revenue houses, because most likely you would need more money for your city to grow. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this and actually understood anything. I'll just scroll around to the back of this sheet. Thank you for watching. Please give me some feedback and rate the video, subscribe if need be, and tell me if you like this, and I will consider making the ones about industry and goods.